have you ever had one of those mornings where you wake up feeling just a little slower than usual? Maybe your balance feels off, your hand shakes a little when you reach for the coffee cup, or you notice it's taking longer to find the right word in a conversation. You brush it off. I'm just getting older, you say. And yes, age does bring its changes. But sometimes, these little signs are our body's way of quietly asking for help. Now, I'm not here to scare you. Quite the opposite. I'm here to walk alongside you, like a good friend, and tell you that there are simple, manageable things you can do every day to protect one of the most important parts of your health, your brain, your heart, and more specifically, preventing strokes after the age of 70. You see, stroke is one of those things that sneaks up on people. It doesn't come with a big warning sign. One moment everything is fine, and the next, your life changes forever. But the truth is, most strokes don't just happen. They build up slowly, day by day, through habits we've picked up or never really questioned. And that's the good news, because it means we can do something about it. In this video, we're going to talk about 4 simple lifestyle changes that can make a world of difference in lowering your risk of stroke. They don't require fancy equipment, expensive treatments, or even that much time. They just need a little bit of attention, a little bit of love, and a belief that it's never too late to take control of your health. So, let's start with the first one, and this might surprise you. It's about how you move every day. I'm not talking about running marathons or lifting weights the size of your grandson. I'm talking about gentle, consistent movement. Walking around your neighborhood. Stretching your arms and legs when you get out of bed. Doing a little Tai Chi or light yoga in the morning sunlight. These aren't just nice things to do, they are powerful tools. You see, as we age, our blood vessels become less flexible. They don't expand and contract as easily, and that means our blood pressure can rise. And high blood pressure is one of the biggest risk factors for stroke. But when you move your body, especially with activities that gently raise your heart rate, you're helping your blood flow more smoothly. You're reminding your blood vessels to stay elastic and responsive. You're also sending more oxygen to your brain, which keeps your mind sharper and your mood brighter. And the best part? You don't have to do it all at once. Even just 10 minutes here and there adds up. A slow dance in the living room, a stroll with your dog, gardening in the backyard, it all counts. The key is consistency. Make movement your daily gift to your body, and it will thank you in more ways than you can imagine. Now, while movement wakes up the body, the next change is all about what we feed it. And no, I'm not about to tell you to give up everything you love. Let's be real, what's life without a little flavor? But we do need to pay attention to what's on our plate, because food can either protect us or quietly harm us over time. One of the easiest, most impactful shifts you can make is to cut down on salt. Now I know, it's in everything. Even things that don't taste salty. But too much salt stiffens your arteries, raises your blood pressure, and sets the stage for a stroke. And the tricky thing is, many people don't even realize they're consuming too much because it hides in packaged foods, canned soups, sauces, even bread. So here's a simple rule: the fewer ingredients on the label, the better. Try seasoning with herbs like garlic, rosemary, or lemon instead of reaching for the shaker. Swap processed snacks for fresh fruit, nuts, or plain popcorn. And drink more water, it helps flush out excess sodium from your body naturally. Another quiet hero in your diet? Leafy greens and berries. These foods are packed with antioxidants, which keep your blood vessels healthy and your brain sharp. Imagine that, just adding a handful of spinach or blueberries to your day could help protect you from stroke. Small, doable steps, right? But I want to pause for a moment here. Because I know making changes to your diet can feel overwhelming, especially if you've been cooking a certain way your whole life. Maybe you're cooking for one now, or you just don't have the energy to prepare elaborate meals anymore. That's okay. Start small. Try one swap at a time. Instead of cutting out everything, just start adding more of the good stuff. Your taste buds will adjust, and your body will thank you with better energy, clearer thinking, and fewer doctor visits. And let's not forget, eating well isn't just about nutrients. It's about connection. Maybe you invite a friend over for lunch and cook something heart-healthy together. Or maybe you try a new recipe with your grandchild and talk about what each ingredient does for the body. Food can be joyful, nourishing, and even healing if we let it. Now, I know we've covered a lot already, moving more, eating smarter. But we're just getting started. There's another powerful, often overlooked habit that plays a huge role in stroke prevention, and that's where we'll head next. Let's talk about something we often brush off, especially as we get older, stress. You might be thinking, at my age? What stress? I'm retired, the kids are grown, I don't have a boss breathing down my neck anymore. But the truth is, stress doesn't clock out just because we stop working. In fact, it can sneak in through the back door, worrying about health, finances, loneliness, or simply watching the news. And here's the thing, stress isn't just a mental state. It has very real effects on your physical body. When we're stressed, our blood pressure spikes. Our heart rate increases. Our blood vessels constrict. All of that creates the perfect storm for a stroke. So managing stress isn't a luxury, it's a necessity, especially after 70. Now, I'm not here to tell you to sit cross-legged and chant OM unless that's your thing. What I'm going to suggest is finding little pockets of peace in your day, simple things that calm your mind and soothe your nervous system. Maybe it's sitting in your garden with a cup of tea and listening to the birds. Maybe it's taking 10 deep breaths while watching the sunset. Maybe it's talking to a friend who makes you laugh or keeping a little journal by your bed where you jot down what you're grateful for. These may sound like small things, but they send a powerful message to your brain and heart. You are safe. You're not under attack. There's no need to be on high alert. And when your brain believes that, your blood pressure comes down. Your body relaxes. You heal from the inside out. Another beautiful way to lower stress? Connection. We humans are wired for it. Yet, as we get older, it's easy to become more isolated, especially if loved ones have moved away, or we've lost people close to us. But connection doesn't have to be grand. A 5-minute chat with your neighbor. A phone call with an old friend. Smiling at the cashier. Volunteering once a week at a local shelter or library. These moments might seem ordinary, but they anchor us. They remind us that we still matter, that we still belong. And don't underestimate the power of laughter. Seriously. Laughter releases feel-good hormones, relaxes your muscles, and even boosts circulation. So watch that silly movie. Rewatch the comedy sketch that always cracks you up. Share your favorite jokes with your grandkids. In a world that can feel heavy sometimes, let laughter be your medicine. Your heart and your brain will thank you. Now, I want to gently shift gears, because this next change might not be what you expect. It's not about food or movement or even stress. It's about sleep. That's right, good, deep, restful sleep is one of the most powerful tools you have to protect your brain and lower your risk of stroke. You see, when we sleep, our body does incredible repair work. It lowers blood pressure, clears out toxins from the brain, and keeps our blood vessels healthy. But as we age, sleep often becomes more elusive. Maybe you wake up several times in the night, where you find it hard to fall asleep in the first place. Maybe you've gotten used to poor sleep and just shrug it off as normal for my age. But here's the truth, poor sleep doesn't have to be your reality. And improving it can be simpler than you think. Start by creating a little bedtime ritual, just like you would for a child. Maybe it's dimming the lights an hour before bed, listening to calming music, or sipping a warm, non-caffeinated drink. Try to keep a regular sleep schedule. Going to bed and waking up around the same time each day helps train your internal clock. And be mindful of screens. Phones, tablets, TVs, these all emit blue light that tells your brain to wake up, even if it's time to wind down. Instead, try reading a physical book or doing a gentle breathing exercise in bed. And if you find your mind racing with worries as your head hits the pillow, try writing them down. Give those thoughts a home on paper, so they don't keep circling in your head. Of course, if you're dealing with sleep apnea, where you stop breathing briefly during the night, you should speak to your doctor. It's more common than people think, and left untreated, it significantly increases stroke risk. Getting tested and treated could be one of the most important things you do for your health. Now, I know these changes, moving more, eating wisely, managing stress, and sleeping well, might feel like a lot all at once. But let me tell you something that matters more than anything else I've said so far. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to begin. Take it one step at a time. Add one habit, then another. Let it build, like a gentle rhythm, like a song you hum throughout your day. Over time, these little shifts add up to something powerful. A stronger body, a clearer mind, a heart that beats with more ease. And if you're watching this and thinking, is it too late for me? Let me answer that with a resounding no. As long as you're breathing, as long as you have one more sunrise ahead of you, it is never too late to care for yourself. Not with guilt, not with fear, but with love. You deserve to feel good in your body. You deserve peace of mind. You deserve the kind of health that lets you enjoy each day, whether it's spent walking in the park or just sitting on the porch watching the world go by. Because health isn't just about adding years to your life. It's about adding life to your years. And that's exactly what these changes can help you do. Let's talk about one more lifestyle change, and this one is often the most overlooked, but it's deeply powerful. It's about knowing your numbers. Now, I'm not talking about your age or your weight or how many steps you walked this morning. I'm talking about the numbers that whisper clues about your overall health, your blood pressure, your cholesterol levels, your blood sugar. These numbers matter. Not because they define your worth or because doctors like to talk in charts, but because they give you information, valuable, life-saving information. High blood pressure, high cholesterol, and high blood sugar all quietly increase your risk of stroke. The tricky part is that they often don't come with symptoms. You might feel perfectly fine while something dangerous is brewing beneath the surface. That's why getting regular checkups is so important. Even if you feel healthy. Even if you don't like going to the doctor. Think of it like taking your car in for a tune-up. It's not because something's wrong, it's because you want to keep it running smoothly. And the good news is, once you know your numbers, you can work with your doctor to manage them, often with small, manageable changes like the ones we've already talked about. Now, if you're someone who avoids the doctor because you're afraid of what they might say, I get it. Truly, I do. But here's the thing, knowing gives you power. Knowing means you can act. Knowing means you can make choices instead of letting fate decide for you. And honestly, most of the time, the news isn't as scary as we imagine. And if it is, well, that just means we have something to work with, and that's a blessing in disguise. Let me tell you a story. There's a gentleman I know, Mr. Hung. He's 74. Lives in a quiet little neighborhood, and until recently, he hadn't been to a doctor in years. I feel fine, he always said. But one afternoon, he fainted while watering his orchids. It wasn't a stroke, but it was a warning. When he finally went in for a checkup, they found his blood pressure was through the roof. His cholesterol? Also high. His doctor said, "You were a walking time bomb, Mr. Hung." Now here's the best part. After just a few months of daily walks, switching to a lighter diet, sleeping better, and taking a tiny pill for his blood pressure, he was back to tending his garden. He said, "I thought I was too old to change. Turns out, I just needed a little nudge." That nudge saved his life. Sometimes, that's all we need too. A little encouragement. A reminder that our health isn't set in stone. That we're not just passengers on this journey, we can still steer the wheel. And speaking of steering, I want to remind you of something you may have forgotten somewhere along the way. You are still in charge of your story. You've lived through so much already. You've raised families, built homes, faced loss, felt love, and probably survived more than a few hard days. You're strong. You're wise. And you are capable of making meaningful changes, even now. Especially now. Don't think of these lifestyle changes as chores. Think of them as acts of love. A gentle morning walk? That's not exercise, that's a chance to breathe in fresh air and say hello to the sun. A handful of berries or a cup of green tea. That's not health food, that's nourishment for your brain, your heart, your future memories. A better night's sleep? That's not a goal, it's a gift you give yourself, like a lullaby to your soul. And when you go for that checkup, when you finally say, "I want to know my numbers," think of it as turning on the lights in a dark room. Clarity. Control. Courage. So here's what I want you to do, not tomorrow, not next week, asterisk today star. Pick one thing from this conversation that spoke to you. Just one. Maybe it's taking a 10-minute walk after breakfast. Maybe it's swapping your salty snack for a slice of apple. Maybe it's making that doctor's appointment you've been putting off. Whatever it is, take that first step. Then take another. And another. Stroke doesn't have to be your future. Aging doesn't have to mean decline. You have more power than you think. And these changes we've talked about, they're not about restriction or fear. They're about freedom. The freedom to feel good in your body. The freedom to keep doing the things you love, gardening, reading, playing with your grandkids, laughing over a meal with a dear friend. Let me tell you this, you matter. Your life matters. And the time you have, whether it's 10 years or 30, is precious. Protecting your health isn't about clinging to youth. It's about honoring the life you've built and making the most of the years ahead. Because the best moments may still be in front of you. That trip you've always wanted to take. That story you've been meaning to write. That quiet afternoon with someone you love. So let's not wait for warning signs. Let's not wait for regrets. Let's act now. With love. With purpose. With hope. And if this video spoke to you, if it made you feel just a little more inspired, a little more empowered, I'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments. Tell me what step you're going to take today. Because when we share, we encourage others. And when we support each other, we grow stronger together. If you found this helpful, give the video a thumbs up so more people like you can find it. And don't forget to subscribe for more gentle, practical health tips made with care, just for you. Here's to living your best life at any age. Here's to strength, to clarity, and to joy. You've got this.